No, add a few zeros on the end and we're getting close.
Give me the tour, will you?
Well, basically, we got a truck-mounted rotary drill here,
Okay.
where we've got our main group of cluster that makes it run. We've got an engine that develops about 426 horsepower.
Okay.
We've got a compressor up here that drives the pneumatic drills to make it fly.
Okay, so it's air compressor. Right?
Correct, it's compressed air. Then on the back side of that's your hydraulic pumps that make the rotation and everything else do what it's supposed to primarily.
Drill pipe here? Or?
You got drill pipe and drill tools, which is stored in a tray on the side of the machine.
Okay.
And then we come back to the back of the rig.
What are these big cylinders here?
Well, these are the two leveling jacks here. There's 3 of them on the machine. There's 2 mounted on each corner of the rear, and then you've got 1 located in the front of the truck in the middle. And this is where you level the machine off so you can drill a straight hole.
Looks like a bunch of levers here. What's this all about?
Well, this is the control station, or the command center, whatever you want to call it, where the drilling operation will take place. Basically, you've got 2 different tiers of levers here that control all drilling operations, from leveling the machine out to raising the tower to adding sections of drill pipe. Controlling all drill functions will be performed right here at this station.
Okay, and the dials, I guess, tell you what's going on with your...
Well, this will keep the driller informed of what conditions are developing in the hole. It'll tell him how his engine's performing and how the, you know, all the heat functions, make sure that everything's running true to form.
The first objective was to drill a hole down into the bedrock. I wondered how deep that was going to be.
This is the actual bit where we're going to start the primary drilling operation. It's what they call a tri-cone roller bit. It's got 3 wheels, and basically those 3 wheels we're going to be rotating so it's actually going to grind and pulverize up and make a hole down below.
There's a lot of action for a short amount of time.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick when you get started.
What's next?
Well, the next thing we got to do, Steve, is we've got to mix up our drilling fluid, which we're going to be mixing up in this barrel. It'll be coming from these bags here behind us.
This is what, a clay-type mixture?
Well, it's a bentonite clay. It's a naturally mined material, which when we add water to it and mix it up, it'll have about the same consistency as pancake batter, basically.
That pancake batter was going to be pumped down into the center of the drill string, into the hole, where it served 3 purposes. It flushes out the cuttings, it cools the bit, and perhaps most importantly, it lines the length of the wellbore, preventing cave-ins. As the drilling fluid is pushed out of the well, it is collected in this pit, or sump, where the cuttings settle out, and the remaining liquid is recycled back into the well hole.
So Dave, you got your pancake batter.
Yeah.
Looks real tasty. What's next?
Well, we're ready to start drilling.
Okay.
The next step we're going to do is be pumping a solution out of the pit over here through the drill string and creating a borehole from surface grade to bedrock.
About how far do you think that is?
I'm going to estimate roughly 40 feet. I might be wrong.
We'll put a case of beer on it.
Okay, you got a deal. Then from this point, once we get down to the bedrock, we're going to drill a minimum of 10 feet into it. Once it's good and solid, then we'll extract that drill string from the hole and then insert these steel pipes.
Okay.
And the first thing we got to do is thread on one of these known as a drive shoe. This threads onto the bottom of the casing and actually makes a nice flat hardened sealing surface right into the bedrock.
Okay, so that just seals the casing to the
Correct.
bedrock.
Once this is down to the bottom of the hole, your threaded casing sections will be running to the surface.
Okay.
Then we install a driver on the top with a pneumatic drill, and we actually beat on it and set it like a nail, basically.
Just so it's nice and sealed down there.
Correct.
This stuff is steel. How come it doesn't rust in the ground?
Well, primarily, once it's in the ground, the air can't get to it. You need air to make oxidation happen.
Okay.
So it's got a real long life expectancy to it as far as it goes.
I'll stand back and watch you do it.
Okay, let's go for it.
This part of the operation went fairly quickly. As one length of drill pipe disappeared into the ground, another was threaded on, and the process continued. Lucky for me, I was winning my bet with Dave as 40 feet came and went. Finally, at 71 feet, we hit bedrock. Dave could tell by the way the drill behaved and by the look of the cuttings. They then removed the drill pipe and got ready to lower the permanent metal well casing into the hole. And when it reached the bedrock, they drove it home with the air hammer.
Well, Dave, for $400,000, you got a machine that puts on quite a show. Of course, you guys aren't too bad yourself.
Well, thanks, Steve. I appreciate that.
So, how deep are we, Dave?
We're 71 feet right now.
71 feet, eh?
Guess I owe you. You won the bet.
Okay, what's next?
Well, the next thing we got to do is we got to change the head on that drill bit with this one over here. This is a new sharp one. It's been all dressed up and it's ready to go in.
These are what, tungsten?
These are tungsten carbide inserts, and what we're going to do is change the one with the one that's on there, and then we'll drill through the center of that casing that we've just installed through the bedrock till we run up into a fracture zone that creates enough water.
Okay, about how deep do you think we have to go?
Well, this is a 4-bedroom house, and we'd like to see at least 5-gallon-a-minute yield out of it if we can get it.
So in other words, you go deep enough so you get the flow of water, and
Mother Nature's going to tell us how deep we got to go.
Okay.
You know, we're looking anywhere between 100 and 500. Just pick a number. You want to bet on that too?
Well, it's been 36 hours since we were last with our well drillers, Joe and Dave. When we left them the other night, they had just set a steel casing in bedrock about 73 feet down, and they were beginning to drill. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Steve.
Sorry we couldn't be with you yesterday.
Well,
I can tell by the no smiles on your face that you're not happy. What's happening?
well, we didn't make out too good as yesterday as we anticipated.
What happened?
Well, we managed to drill from 71 feet, where the casing's been set, to approximately 405 feet deep.
And you find water?
Well, we found a little bit.
How
About
much?
a gallon and a half.
And you wanted like 5 gallons or something like that?
Well, that, but also we suspect this water's been heavily laden with iron. So what we'd like to do now is continue down deeper and hopefully find a more productive zone of better quality.
So the program is keep going.
Correct.
This stuff wasn't here yesterday. What's this?
Well, that's just the drill cuttings that came out from yesterday's drilling operation. And it's all basically just stone dust that's been evacuated with the hole with water.
So it sounds like a bit more of this before we're done.
Well, it kind of looks that way.
What's the first thing on the agenda this morning?
Oh, Joe?
Okay, well, last night, while the machine was sitting here, the hole filled with water. 600 gallons sitting in that 400-foot hole right now. And we got to get it out. The
How do you
only way
do
to
that?
get it out, we start the machine, build a head of compressed air, and we're going to blow it out.
Just like a geyser.
Yes, sir. It's going to get awful wet. If we get rolling, you probably ought to back up a little bit or you're going to get awful wet yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
After they blew the water out of the hole, they resumed drilling. Just 20 feet deeper, they must have hit a fracture zone because more water was now running out of the well. They stopped to measure the flow.
Ready? Yep. And go. What do you got?
10.
6 gallons a minute.
6 gallons a minute. All right, good. Congratulations. What about the iron content that you guys were worried about?
Oh, it doesn't look like it's going to be so bad. We've diluted it with more water than we had before. I think it's going to be a pretty decent well.
Good.
We'll be able to get a pump thrown in there and take a sample to a laboratory, and they'll tell us exactly what contents we have. and what we'll have to do about it later.
Good enough.
All right.
You guys put on a good show.
Thank you. Well, all we got left to do is break down. We're out of here.
Well, this is incredible.